evening, everybody, and welcome to Admin Chat. I'm Lucy Brazier. I'm the CEO of March and Publishing. We publish Executive Secretary magazine, and I'm here this evening to run through with you what's been happening for the last 10 days. For those of you that maybe haven't caught up with it yet and wanted a bite-sized kind of version of what we've been doing with Ask for Training so that you can decide whether it's for you. But hopefully we've got a few hints and tips in there as well that will help you if you have been following along with us for the last 10 days. Can you imagine that tomorrow is the very final day? Tomorrow is the day where you're actually going to ask for training. I'm actually here in Liverpool this evening. I've been with Marion and John Lawrence for the last couple of days, and I'm about to go out and host an evening which is in aid of Cash for Kids, which is a Liverpool charity. So that's why I'm dressed maybe slightly more in evening dress. You'll have to excuse me. But I thought I would take the opportunity, as I had some makeup on and about an hour to spare before I ran out the door, to have a cup of tea yeah, and to just chat through with you what it is exactly that we've been doing. So why did we decide in the first place that we were going to do this Ask for Training campaign? Well, every year I take the team on a retreat and we tend to go away to a house somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And we spend 2 or 3 days just going through all the things that in the last year we were happy with and the things that we weren't so happy with. And we look at what we really want to achieve in the next year. And one of the things that's been on the list for the last couple of years is the situation whereby assistants find it really, really difficult to ask for training. Whenever we send anything out talking about subscribing to the magazine or the training courses that we do or the conferences that we run, we get obviously positivity back, but we also get a whole heap of people that say, oh, I just wish I knew how to ask for that kind of training. I would so love to do it, but I just know that they would say no. Now, so often when we say to them, but have you asked? They say, well, actually, no, we haven't asked because we just know that the answer would be no. Now, the situation is really that if you don't ask, you're never, ever going to get. And so many of our assistants, when we sent them our business case letter, both for subscriptions and for the training and for our conferences, have been absolutely surprised and delighted when their executives have turned around and said, well, yes, actually, you can go. So we thought then long and hard about how we could put something together that would encourage you to go and ask for the training that you desperately want and that you need. And what has been shown time and again over this last couple of weeks is that, in fact, you guys are really, really keen to get that training. You understand that the marketplace is really changing and that you need to upskill yourselves in order to continue to be relevant within the marketplace. So we're so happy that you have come on this journey with us, or that you're exploring the possibility of starting at the beginning, which, by the way, you can still do, because we have set this whole campaign up as an automated campaign, which means that if you sign up, you're going to be able to start right at the beginning and do the bite-sized pieces on a daily basis. The link is just underneath this video on YouTube. So then, where did we start? Well, day one, we encouraged you to take your workbook, which, bless it, by now it's looking a little bit bedraggled because I've been carrying it around with me for 2 weeks and filming with it all over the place. But we encouraged you to download the workbook, and there was a link which took you to somewhere you were able to do that. And we suggested that you looked at some videos and that you read some articles and that you started to prepare yourself for the journey ahead. Now, we told you that we would send you a daily email, which indeed, if you sign up to the campaign, you will get. We told you that you would get a video from me every day, and you have done. You will have had day 9 this morning, and tomorrow is the very, very final one, which is the big push to go and ask for training. We were putting stuff all over social media, so on our Facebook group, on our LinkedIn group, on my LinkedIn feed, on our Facebook page, and on Twitter. You will have had a whole heap of different articles and links to an ebook, which is what we asked you to download on day 2, which was absolutely packed full of articles. But also we had so many trainers and top assistants and speakers and just influencers from within the whole profession talking about why you should be asking for training and talking about how they did it and what they found the impact was. So I hope you found those really useful and inspiring, and that some of the tips and tricks that they've given you are pertinent to what you're trying to do particularly. I would encourage you to go back and look at Bonnie Lowe Craman's admin chat from last Thursday, which was on the ROI that keeps on giving. ROI standing for return on investment. It's what your company wants to see when you ask for training. But also Vicky Sokol-Evans yesterday released a video which was showing you how to calculate the return on investment for tech training, and that was hugely useful. I think you will find that just so helpful if you're trying to put together your business case for your executives. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back. So day one, you printed out the Ask for Training workbook and you took a look at all the things that you were going to get moving forward. We also gave you a page in that had 3 logos in it. The top one was the one that you put online when you were posting anything about our campaign. So if you were posting anything that would help people to ask for training, or if you were a trainer that was wanting to publicize your particular course or an association that was running training, you were able to take this logo and post it online together with the hashtag Ask for Training. It means that all over the world, people are able to tune in and see what has been posted around the campaign. Then we've been encouraging you, when you actually get to a point where you ask for training, to use this pink one here. And a few of you have done that so far, but I'm really hoping that on day 10, which is tomorrow morning, we're going to see a whole heap more of those going up. And then this one is the final one. It's the blue one. It says, I got training. And when you have asked for it and you have been told that, yes, you can have the training that you want, I'm so hoping that a whole heap of you are going to post that all over social media together with the hashtag Ask for Training, because I really think that if you do, it's going to encourage other assistants all over the world to have the courage to step up and ask for training, because they will see that assistants are getting training when they ask. So that's day one. Then day two, we looked at why you should be investing in training. And we looked at why you should be investing in yourself, why you needed training, and suggested that maybe you should make notes on what that was all about. And then we asked what that would do for your personal brand. And on day two, we had some great articles from all sorts of people. But the main video, the main event for that day came from Anel Martin. Now, Anel has a fantastic book, which is on personal branding for the assistant. It's available on Amazon, and there is a link to that just underneath her video if you want to go and have a look. But that video very clearly talked about why taking training is so good for your personal brand. Other contributions on day two came from Rhonda Scarf, from Linda Sherman, from Karen Lewis, and from Sandy Giroux. So go check that out. Some were in the form of videos, some were in the form of articles, but you will find all of those on social media and in the ebook. So on to day three then. And on day three, we have an amazing self-analysis. It's a skills, a training needs analysis, which Kathy Harris, who is over in South Africa and is one of the real leaders within this profession, had put together. And then Kathleen Drum and Colette Walsh, who have been behind this whole campaign and had done all the real graft in putting the workbook and the ebook together and deciding what the flow of the campaign should be, took that training needs analysis and added all sorts of other skills, having done their research and having talked to people within the industry, so that they could encourage you to do a really comprehensive training needs analysis and look at where the gaps are in your skill sets. So it looked like this, and what you will see is that there are 2 columns here. The first one over here is the one that you fill in for yourself. So it's saying you are scoring yourself between 1 and 4 based on the skill sets that you've got, and that way you can see very, very clearly where you feel the gaps are. On the other side are 4 columns for your executive to do exactly the same thing. And what we were suggesting was that you gave your executive a blank copy so that actually they were going to be able to not get influenced by what you had written already, and so that then you could compare the two and work out where you really felt that the skills gaps were. So I hope you will have found that really useful. That is a couple of pages long, so that's going to take some work, but it is really, really going to show you exactly where your skills gaps are and where you're going to need to ask for training. Now, on to day 4 then, you want to analyse that self-assessment. And that self-assessment has 2 really excellent supporting pieces on day 4, one from Sandy Giroux, the other one from Eth Lloyd, who is the chair of the World Administrators Summit. She is one of the great leaders in our profession, and both those articles are well worth a read. Day 4 is also when that admin chat that I talked to you about from Bonnie-Lo Craman went live, and you'll find that on our YouTube channel. If you search for hashtag admin chat, you'll find not only that admin chat from Bonnie-Lo Craman, but actually so far we've published over 75 hours of free training for assistants. So if you really, really can't get any training from your executives, and I would suggest that you are making the move to try and get face-to-face training, because I think on the whole it's great to sit and watch videos, but you get so much more when you get out of the office and you study, or when you have somebody come in for the day. But if you really can't get any budget, then our admin chat channel is fantastic, and all the wonderful trainers that we work with give up their time to give us hours of free training there that you're able to tap into or to show to other assistants in your office. Anyway, back to Thursday. So Thursday last week, we were looking at your self-assessment, and we were saying, where are the top 3 skills that we are missing? So we were analysing that self-assessment and looking at the competencies that you really should focus on most. And we were asking you to make a note of those in your workbook. We also asked you to look at what training would give you and your business the biggest return on investment. So if you look down the list of the skills that you are lacking and you're looking at the top 3, it could be that your top 3 are including not only what's best for you, but what is going to give the best return on investment to your business. So just list your top 3 training needs here. But it's also worth thinking about this at this point, whether you want to go on a course that covers one subject, or whether you would be better off going and doing a conference that's going to inspire you, where you'll see several different people, or whether you actually want to bring somebody on into your business and have some in-house training. Because sometimes if you have a lot of assistants, bringing a trainer in works out more cost effective, and it means that you get a full day of training from somebody absolutely amazing, and per head it's a lot less than sending somebody out into the field. So I guess quantify, based on what you have listed, what the return on investment is, but not just in terms of money. Look at efficiency, look at effectiveness, look at the time saved, look at new connections made, and really think about what going for training will do for both you and for your business. So that's day 4. Then on day 5, which was at the end of the week, you were looking at what the value is to you and to your role. So what is your commitment going to be to this training? If you looked at the email for that day, you would see that there was a full explanation of the topic and links to all sorts of additional information, including an excellent article from Lindsay Taylor and a video from her as well. And that all links through to an article that she wrote, which was on how to ask for training, that has some amazing, amazing points in it. The other thing that there is on day 5 is a link to a quiz which allows you to work out what your learning style is. Now, your learning style will either be visual or auditory or kinesthetic. So if it's visual, it's about looking at things and remembering them best that way. If you're auditory, it's about hearing things and then remembering them best in that way. Or if you're kinesthetic, you probably learn best by doing. That quiz will tell you what it is that you are. And you will have noticed that over the last couple of weeks, we've been putting out information in all those different styles. So you have had me talking to you, you have got videos that you're able to watch, you've had stories that are painting pictures from people from right across the industry, and of course we have given you the workbook as well, so that you are able to do kinesthetic work, and hopefully we have combined all three so that whatever learning style you are, you'll have found this useful. But moving back to Ask for Training, when you're thinking about what training you want, think about what your learning style is. Do you learn best when you're taking part in something and having to do it? So, in other words, a workshop. Or do you learn best when you're watching somebody? Or do you learn best when you're listening to somebody? Once you've established what your learning styles are, then go seek out the training that is really going to suit you. And finally, look at what you're prepared to bring to the table, because sometimes we have to compromise. So I know that, for example, some of our assistants decide that they want to come to Johannesburg to Executive Secretary Live there, because they've always wanted to come to Africa, and they've worked out that actually it's far cheaper to come to Executive Secretary Live in Africa than it is maybe in London or the States or in Australia or New Zealand. So they go to their executives and they say, okay, if you'll pay for the conference and you'll pay for the hotel, I'm prepared to pay for my flights, but I want to stay on for a couple of weeks afterwards because I want to go and do safari. Just as an example. Or maybe if you want to go somewhere closer to home, you're prepared to pay for your travel, or maybe you're prepared to give up a Saturday, whatever it happens to be. What are the compromises that you are willing to make if you need to in order to make sure that you're getting the training that you need? Let's move on then to day 6. On day 6, we looked at what the training window was. So, when is going to be the best time for you to be out of the office? And that can be dependent on all sorts of things. It could be that what you're looking at is a situation whereby it's great to go out of the office when people are on holiday. Maybe when people are on holiday, it's the time that you have to stay in the office. What are your busiest times of the year? Get out your calendar, take a look, and then look at when the windows of opportunity are for you to be out of the office when it's least disruptive. The other thing that I would say to you is that it's very easy to make excuses and to talk about being very, very busy. And, you know, we're all very busy, but this is a profession that is changing so fast. You need to be keeping up with the changes that are happening, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in a position where you are out of a job. If you look at the World Economic Forum report into the future of jobs, you will see that assistants are number 2 on the list as a job that's going to go. I'd like to see them try. And then having said that, there is a grain of truth in that. The assistants that are going to stay are the ones that are not doing reactionary task-based work. They are the ones who have upskilled themselves to really understand the business, to really understand goal setting, to really understand strategy, who are supporting their executives at the highest level. You can't do that if you're sitting still and you're not getting with the program and really understanding the way the profession is developing. So please don't tell me you're too busy. Find that window, make sure that you are listing the available times and that you're taking the time to go and get that training. Then day 7. And day 7 was looking at all the resources at your disposal. It's where it got exciting, it's where it's got creative, it's where you've really gone and delved into what training is out there. And to that end, we have several tools for you. So we have our events calendar, which is on our website, which is www.executivesecretary.com. And the events calendar we've put together over the last few months with every trainer that we think is decent that we can lay our hands on. And we have asked them to send us their training. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who are decent who aren't on our list. It's just that we maybe didn't get stuff back from some of them. However, what I would say to you is it's a really good comprehensive list. You should be able to search for it by town. You should be able to search for it by trainer. You should be able to search for it by subject matter and come up with the training that you want. If you're having any problems at all, please email us and you will find that email on every single email that I have sent you over the last couple of weeks, just drop us a line, because we're more than happy to help you to find the training that you need near to you. It could be that when you go looking at that list, there is no training listed near to you. And if that's the case, then we have an associations tab on the website too. And that associations tab has listed every association that we've managed to find across the world. So maybe there you will be able to find something that is closer to home and contact them and find out what they have available, or who they know more close to home that is able to help you with the training that you need. Our Speaker Bureau is also another really, really good place to go and look, and you can find that on our website too. We have got over 60 trainers on that Speaker Bureau, and they are all the top speakers in the world for assistance. I've seen every single one of them speak personally, and I only ask people to join when I feel that they are totally up to scratch. So if you're looking at the possibility of having somebody come to talk at an event that you're holding, or to come and speak at your business, as opposed to going outside, or even if you are looking at going to an external course and you want to see who's doing what, again, you can search by subject matter and you can search by name on that Speaker Bureau. Some great articles for day 7 from Melba Duncan and from Joan Burge and from Julie Perrine, 3 of the giants of our profession. And Julie Perrine in particular has 2 articles there, one looking at the real big conferences that you might want to attend, and one looking at the maybe slightly smaller ones that have got a more intimate feel to them, looking at the benefits of both. All right then, so let's go into day 8, and we're almost up to speed. On day 8, we started to prepare the necessary paperwork, and you should be using the area in your workbook to ensure that you have all the right information. Create a checklist there. There's a nice lot of space. Go back over your workbook and say, all right, what's the information that I've got so far? Let's collate it so that we are able to put something together that our executives are going to be able to use. And it could be that you have internal forms that you have to fill in, as well as putting together a business case. Now, we are going to be able to give you a business case letter that you just fill in. It's really, really easy. The link to that is on the email that we sent out for day 8, and you can find it there. It's simply a plug in and go. It's not going to take you forever to fill in. It just means that you put in the information and it'll explain the return on investment your company is likely to get when you ask for training. So don't forget then that there are many more resources, films and articles out there on our social media and on our website and on the YouTube channel if you want to go and find more information about how you ask for training. That page should have all comparison costs, any quotes that you've got, all that information. The other thing that I would say to you is that this is the day when you get Vicky Sokol-Evans and her 8-minute piece on what kind of ROI you will get on tech training and how to present that to your executive. So now we're pretty much up to speed. Today is day 9, and on day 9, that's the time that you book the time in your executive's diary, or in his calendar if you're in the States. I'm sorry, in England we always call it a diary, so it gets confusing when I'm training over in the States. What we have here is a sample email that you can send to your executive that is explaining point by point exactly what it is that you are going to get from going on the training. And it shouldn't be in your usual one-to-one time. You should be doing it in a separate meeting so that they are aware that you're coming in to talk to them about training, and so that they have time to prepare. And in fact, that's what we are going to be looking at on day 10. And day 10 is another email. That email is one that you send to your executive, which says, thank you for agreeing to have a meeting with me, and here is all the supporting information. So you're putting the business case letter attached to that. You are putting anything that you have collected which is going to make your case. I'll talk to you more about that in more depth tomorrow when we send the email out and the instructions for the final day. But I hope that you can see that over the 10 days, we really have provided you with some amazing tools that are going to give you the courage to ask for training. We so hope that once you have asked for it, you're going to go and you're going to put up that yellow logo that I showed you right in the beginning, so that you can encourage other people to go and ask for training as well. And that when you get the training that you so need and that you so deserve, you will put this blue logo up to encourage other people to go and ask for training too. So that's it. That is the end, all bar tomorrow when you're going to get more in-depth instructions on what to do for day 10. We have so enjoyed having you with us. We really, really hope that you have got as much out of it as we truly feel that you have from all the emails and all the response that we've got. And we hope that your businesses will really rise to the occasion and say yes, because we know how vital assistants are to their businesses. We know that when you upskill yourselves, it drops directly to the bottom line. And it's been proven again and again that upskilled assistants really change the economy of their businesses. So good luck then. Get out there and do it. Find the courage and go. Ask for training.